Hello, everybody. It's great to be here one more time today. And my name is Gary Fowler, and I'm the CEO, president, and founder of GST Venture Studios. Today, we're talking Simplenight AI Presents, and I have an incredible guest, the CEO and president of Simplenight. And for those of you who don't know, Simplenight is a super app engine enabling hyper-personalized booking and ordering of anything, anywhere, anytime. Simplenight's omni-channel platform for travel, lifestyle, and more, utilizing generative AI and providing the booking digitalization and infrastructure to shape the future of commerce and data. They have incredible supplier network, over 10 million bookable products in more than 5,000 cities across 191 countries, covering 30 categories as far-reaching food ordering, tours and activities, attractions, nightlife. And we all know infobesity is out there, and Simple Night and their super app aim to be able to solve that. So my guest today, Mark Halberstein, is the CEO president. He's an incredible guy. He's got a rich background, everything from MBA at the University of Miami School of Business to working as a associate at MGK, UBS as an analyst, Allied Partners, and his own luxury concierge service, and JPMorgan as a senior analyst. What a wide background for an incredible guy building one of the most interesting unicorns on the planet Earth. And with that, I'd like to bring on Mark. Hey, Mark, how you doing today?
Hey, Gary, how you doing?
Good. So tell us a little bit about it. I mean, you've had quite a journey. So how do you go from Florida to going around the world and making this dent in the user with the universe with your super app? How did you get started? And what gave you the passion? It seems like you like concierge services. So and boy, oh boy, you're really providing the one-to-one marketing with this. So how did you do it? How did you get started?
So ever since I was a little kid, my parents called me Mr. Entertainment Tonight. I also used to study in Atlas and just really became enamored with the world, geography, and learning and trying to experience as much of the world as possible. As I got older, I really just enjoyed helping people with access, reservation needs, knowledge, information, and kind of took it upon myself to become like a bespoke concierge. It's something I always enjoyed and I was passionate about. It's one of those things, if you got it, kind of, use it and help people, why not? And, as kind of a side hustle and hobby business, is something I was doing ever since college, working, in student government productions, social chair at my fraternity at an almost 100,000 person school, throwing events like in Miami and New York, working for very kind of predominant event planners for celebrity events, things of that nature. It's always something I enjoyed. And while I was kind of working on my career, as I moved to New York with UBS and then JPMorgan, Allied Partners, on the side, I was kind of doing this kind of bespoke concierge side hustle, which just kept organically growing. I never did any kind of paid advertising. It was all kind of organic referral business, and started to get into the millions and growing every year. So that's where it came from.
And so, you look at it, so when you did this concierge service, what drew you to that, Mark? What, like, because you were at JP Morgan, like, how did you go from going to JP Morgan and say, I want to do this? Like, is it because you like people or you like creating things, or what drove you to that business?
I like helping people. I like giving people a good experience and helping them get to their optimal experience. And, I think based on access and connections and just understanding the way things work, the logistics behind kind of booking and ordering all these different categories of things that people engage with, whether it's travel, lifestyle, experiential, et cetera, just something I spent a lot of time and very passionate about. So for me, it came natural. It's something I enjoy. I love it. I've always loved it. And it just organically kind of grew from there.
And so when you went down through and did it, what, like, the trigger point, what's the key to success in doing that kind of a business, that concierge business? And then let's talk about Simple Night. But what's the key when you got started? Like, what is it? Is it having access to the supply? Is it having the relationship with the folks? Is it a combination of all of it? What is the secret sauce to making it work? Because not everybody can do it.
Yeah, a big thing, and there's kind of, long-standing concierge services out there. You know, anyone can garner relationships. Cultivating those and maintaining those takes effort for sure. Putting the effort to kind of build them in the first place takes effort. Um, Getting a book of business and referrals of customers is certainly something that's not easy to do. But I think number one is really adhering towards trying to help people, putting yourself in their shoes, showing empathy, trying to have really top-notch service in the way that you deal with people. Make sure to always strive to see through whatever there is that they're looking for you to kind of help for them, even if it means telling them no, serving as that source and resource for them of information, honest feedback, access, building the relationship with your client and the supplier. Both of them are vital relationships to maintain. It's all of the above.
Wow. And what, why haven't more people done it? You hear quintessentially and some of these groups that are out there, but why haven't more companies been successful at doing it?
It's funny that you say that. So at one point in time, my concierge business was behind the scenes actually fulfilling booking orders and access orders for quintessentially, also Centurion from American Express, for concierges that worked for both companies. And we focused on certain categories, the real tough, top access, luxury, lifestyle type of categories, nightlife, dining, events, hotels, but luxury hotels, private planes, yachts, private car hire. And then, we moved over time into kind of more of the traditional services. It's very difficult to break into the legacy travel space. It's very difficult to break into the kind of everyday booking, purchase space of your typical kind of everyday categories. And even just in the lifestyle space, there's a lot of fragmentation and lack of infrastructure from a digitization perspective. So for me, it was second nature to kind of try and organize it further. Is always a thesis of mine of, imagine if this were kind of centralized and organized, and you could build that kind of exchange and central nervous system and pipes to have all these categories at your fingertips. Imagine who could benefit from it and the types of ecosystems that could benefit from it. So it was a natural thread of where it evolved and kind of the direction we went of B2B and B2B2C, as opposed to direct to consumer. But you have to kind of look at it, break it down, and organize the chaos. It's nothing but organized chaos.
And so it's organized chaos, but you've done an incredible job. Obviously, you created an incredible company in your concierge business, and now with Simplenight. But the organized chaos, taking care of the infobesity, information overload, is obviously really important, because look at all of us. I mean, when you travel to a place like San Francisco, where do you go to eat? What seat do you have on the plane? What one of your friends is going to be there that can meet with you? I mean, it's all a matter of taking care of all these data points all the time. And it seems like, you're way down that journey. This whole idea of one-to-one marketing and being able to do that, you're down the journey. What do you see? You're traveling around the world, meeting people from everywhere. What's happening?
So there's a huge kind of movement. It's not something that is recent. I mean, it's been around for a while, particularly in Asia and then the Middle East, is around this concept of building super apps, right? The app of all apps, and essentially consolidating multiple apps and that fragmentation into one central app, right? So very similar to a lot of the background that I kind of gave of where I came from in this space. And so rather than kind of go and try and aggregate consumers and go and acquire users directly for some said super app, we've gone through and spent our time building out the infrastructure piece by piece, category by category, not just in the US, all over the place, internationally. So that way we can serve up that platform to any ecosystem that aspires to have its own super app like ecosystem to engage with their audiences, build greater lifetime value, loyalty, and brand equity.
And so you're going down through there and you're building it. But, it's interesting because it's not just companies, it's countries. Why would a country be so interested in this?
So a big topic for countries right now and governments. There's a few of them actually. One is, achieving and adhering to the 2030 Sustainable Goals of the United Nations. A big piece of that is economic impact. So what we've built and how we're collaborating with governments around the world right now is completely around the beating heart of economic impact. We have built a solution that very quickly governments can endorse and roll out together with us to not only tourists, but also their residents and the general population. And we can really engage at driving not only tourism GDP, but overall country GDP for international governments all over the world.
And so you're helping with their GDP, but also it's creating a network of opportunities for the country and for the providers, right? So, I mean, it's really enhancing, and it's not a bad thing. It's helping the relationships between people, helping the relationships between companies, giving them better customer satisfaction.
Exactly. We've actually built a solution in-house that can onboard and digitize vendors and create kind of digital SKUs, as we call them, SKUs, but also digital storefronts. So if it's a pizza shop, an artisan, a food truck, a little merchant on the side of the street, doesn't matter. So yes, we are helping them build out that digitization as well, which is critical to them and leads to greater commerce accessibility, more efficiencies, and ultimately, obviously, stronger economic impact.
I mean, the thing is, the whole world's going to come to these super apps, right? We've just started to hear about it over the last year and a half. But I mean, you're right at the forefront of this thing. It's interesting. Why haven't some of the other larger companies built these super apps to take care of all these disparate pieces of information around, right? And try to serve their companies better?
So there's a couple of things to that. I think one is focus, right? A lot of these ecosystems, whether it's credit cards, online travel agencies, global distribution systems, and other brands out there have their kind of core business that they have to focus on, right? And especially with COVID, it really kicked everyone in the gut and changed everybody's business strategies, because I think there was a bit more movement inching in this direction before COVID, and that just all got flatlined. For us, it was very fortunate timing in terms of the infrastructure gaps that existed post-COVID for us, because again, there's a lot of implications of what we're building. And I think that these other organizations, it takes a lot of time and effort to systematically build the infrastructure like we have done, whether you're looking at point of sales and dining, food ordering, or whether you're looking at reservation systems dining, or whether you're looking at global distribution system connectivity for airlines, or whether you're looking at aggregating global supply for accommodations. I mean, I'm exhausted just saying that. Imagine, the CEOs, CFOs of and presidents of these organizations that already are responsible for billions of dollars in commerce. For them to kind of go on a tangent is definitely a change in strategy. So it's much easier to align with a business like Simplenight, which overnight can kind of take them in the direction that they'd like with minimal effort.
So you go down through, I don't know about you, but when I'm building my itinerary to take a trip and I'm trying to figure out where I want to go, what I want to see, I mean, it's a real pain to go in and you're booking a flight and you got a flight, but it would be nice to have everything together and know who I am, what kind of things I like, and having a chatbot that can speak to you, that can talk to you about and in a human-like way. I mean, that's the way the future should be. What do you think about that?
Yeah, so we actually have recently unveiled our own generative AI chatbot that we've built for planning full itineraries and booking and ordering everything in that itinerary with hyper-intelligent recommendations and personalization. So that's definitely the future. The idea is to take what I used to do in the concierge space, dealing with clients individually and supercharge that, where now we can engage with millions of people at the same time. And this can be customized for businesses that we engage with. So it's like book with ChatGPT on steroids.
So you go down through it though. I mean, but it's got to be much more than this, because this becomes like an engine to be able to drive things. I can imagine having a car that could talk to you like Kit, when you used to have the Night Rider. Remember when I was many, many years ago watching, I thought, wow, you could actually have something like that kind of like your grandmother that would care about you and understand what kind of things you like and recommend them to you in advance. What do you think?
Exactly. So our engine can do just that, right? We've actually been working with automotive brands as an example for over 7 years at this point. And we have integrated our technology into the infotainment stacks of and head units of car brands before. And it's something that we're actually looking at doing right now with certain automotive OEMs. It also, another piece of the puzzle are the voice applications in vehicles, an example, or even homes down the road that Simplenight can be attached onto to build skills and facilitate intelligent booking and ordering of many different types of products and services. So for us, it's just the beginning of the implications of the infrastructure that we've built.
I mean, how far does this go, Mark? I mean, it seems like you're just the beginning of an incredible journey. How far is this going to go?
I mean, for us, the vision is book and order anything, anywhere, anytime. And we're going to continue pushing forward until that happens. And the nice part about it is it's really unlimited potential.
Yeah, I mean, it is unlimited because there's always data coming at us and we got to make decisions. So, I mean, but it's not just about travel, right? This could be an engine for all kinds of different things, right? This can't be it's just a travel is the beginning. Where does it go?
Yeah, so it's interesting you say that. We're dealing with a lot of organizations now for the employee perks, like discounted offerings for employees of Fortune 100 and 500 corporations. The potential to kind of engage in the loyalty side with financial services companies like banks and credit cards, search engines. I mean, we've been working with Google as a partner for over 7 years. So there's lots of potential in terms of where this engine can go.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it, I think about it. I talk to people every day and they're always concerned about the data around them trying to make decisions, but you sure make it easy. I mean, I can imagine a day when you're driving down and all of a sudden your car starts to make a recommendation. And listen, you're probably hungry and there's a California roll that's on sale at this restaurant close by. And oh, by the way, they got a seat over by the window. And I know you like that. Would you like to go there? I'll make you a reservation. I mean, those kind of like hyper personalized things. What do you think about that?
It's definitely going to be happening. It's the future. I think you could even take it a step further. It would know that you have an allergy to gluten, as an example, before you even step down. It would know that your credit card is a Capital One venture card and already has it on file. You'll just have to authenticate it with biometrics. There's just so many things of technology that's out there. I think the future will start bringing them all together. I think Gen AI will be a huge part in terms of kind of serving as a thread that kind of brings it all together in terms of the hyper personalization. But you still need the infrastructure like what we've built.
Well, I mean, and you look at it, I mean, everything, even from doctor's appointments. I mean, I could see a future where you could have doctor's appointments tied up. Hey, it's time to get your teeth cleaned. They got an open slot on Wednesday at 2:00. I checked your calendar. It's free. Would you like to do that? No, by the way, would you like to have dinner with your wife at this restaurant? It's open and it's your anniversary. So make sure you get flowers. Let me order them for you.
That is definitely the way the future will start shaping up very shortly.
So, I mean, Simplenight's really taking the complex things and making them simple, making them easy for people to use. So are you talking about booking anything, anywhere, anytime? Is that what this is all about?
Yeah, it's serving as that kind of infrastructural engine, right? That any ecosystem that we work with, it's not just the things that we happen to have aggregated. Their own product and services could be served up through our platform and made to be more efficient in terms of the way that it's purchased or engaged with. So it's not just about necessarily booking a hotel room. It could go well beyond that.
If you look at it, we have so many silos out there. And really, it seems like with Simplenight, you're bringing those silos together and you trade them as one. So they're not alone anymore. They're together. And it's interesting because you don't see companies doing that today for all kinds of different reasons. Maybe it's their business model. Maybe it's because they're not doing this, this cross-platform capability, intelligently doing it. But that future's now. So if you look at your history, where are you going to be in the next 5 years? Where do you see this? Besides on your Gulfstream flying around the world, but where do you plan on being? Where do you see Simple Night going?
I think we'll be powering a huge percentage of the global economies out there, working with countries all over the world. Some of the top financial services organizations, some of the top travel and hospitality businesses, automotive brands, and more. And I think that we will have built out a new category for infrastructure, kind of the Superapp engine, if you will, that will start to shape the digitization of the future.
And so, you're not just talk about the futures. I mean, you actually have these are companies. You have countries that are partners of yours that have signed up. You have companies that have partnered with you. So it's not just talking about it's just an idea. I mean, you're actually closing business and getting things done. This is incredible.
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, we definitely endure much longer sales cycles than most, being a B2B company. But the implications of the relationships and partnerships that we're fostering now are going to be long-term and really beneficial terms, advancing ecosystems in many different segments across the world.
Yeah, it's amazing, and hats off to you. It's incredible that you've come up with this idea of serving people in a hyper personalized way, because that's what it really has to happen. People are inundated with information, whether it's travel and going to a city, whether it's going to a country, whether it's trying to figure out what seat you want on the airline and what kind of food you want. I mean, there's so many different choices you have to make, and having these intelligent engines like Simplenight out there to help is going to be critically important, because this becomes your no more than a virtual assistant. This becomes your virtual partner to be able to help you really grow your business. So hats off to you. You were talking about automobile companies, and so you see interest from automobile companies. You've got to be seeing interest from credit card companies too. They got to be, this is a way for them to get close, especially with 20% interest rates on cards, right? They want to get close to their customers too. So it sounds to me like you're building a 360-degree ecosystem, because you're getting all the pieces, you're getting the suppliers, you're in the middle of it, opportunity. But the idea is to make their business better for them to grow sales, correct?
Yeah, I mean, it's all about, like I said before, increasing customer lifetime value, increasing brand equity, building greater loyalty and relationships with your end consumers. And we are a perfect tool for that can be supercharged across your entire organization, across several facets, whether it's chatbot, loyalty, booking engines, mobile apps, featuring content, promotions, you name it. And so for us, we're kind of a new era in merchandising that is going to really disrupt the way that ecosystems of many different shapes and sizes engage with their end consumers.
Well, I mean, it almost sounds like you could even go into a retail store, right? You could go into a retail store with Simplenight, and all of a sudden it understands which stores you want to go to, what you should do. I mean, it could be from the virtual world to really the physical world. What do you think, Mark?
I think there's potential for customized services and experiences that we could get into. Right now, for us, the focus is really just building out the platform, further building out these ecosystems, rolling out all these enterprises. Because for us, whether it's a credit card, a government, a car company, I know they seem very different on the surface, but to us, they're just enterprise partners. It's not like we're building out completely new solutions for each one of them. That's part of the magic of Simplenight, is that it really is scalable at a global level based on the infrastructure that we've built. Whether we'll get into retail stores down the road, who knows? But right now, we're just focused on building out the solution to help as many ecosystems engage their audiences more efficiently.
Yeah, but engaging an audience more efficiently is important, and you're doing it in a hyper personalized way like you're doing. It's incredible. So, you're changing the world. So, hats off to you. Listen, we're coming up to the top of the show. Closing thoughts, Mark, and how do people get a hold of you?
I can be reached directly on email, mark@simplenight.com. I'm pretty accessible. I welcome, with Simplenight, with our team, welcome any kind of collaborations, and we're always looking at, ways to change the world.
Right. Thank you very much for joining today. And thanks to all of my audience for joining one more time. Simple Nights presents. My name is Gary Fowler, and I'm your host. Stay happy, stay safe, and stay healthy. And we'll be back again soon with another exciting edition. Thanks, Mark, for your time. And thanks to all of you one more time again. Thank you.
Thanks, Gary.